tell us a little bit what your keynote lecture is going to be about?
The keynote lecture?
The keynote lecture, the lecture that you're going to
Yes, I think it's a keynote lecture which is principally to explain to the people what is the contemporary situation in the world and how is it possible to change this situation. And so we have, if you want, two parts. First, what is the situation today, what is the crisis, and so on. And second, is there some hope to go beyond all that?
Is there some hope?
You know, I am a philosopher, and I think that the business of a philosopher is to be optimistic. Because if you are pessimistic, finally there is no use of yourself. Because to be pessimistic, there is no necessity to be a philosopher. The situation suffices. And so to say to people something which can be useful for them, we must have some hope to transform the world and to go in the direction of a better world, if it is possible. The question of possibility, finally, is a material question, a political question, and not completely a philosophical question.
How do you see the crisis? What's wrong with the world?
What?
What's wrong with the world? What's the crisis in the world?
I think there is two different levels for the crisis. There is an objective level, which is the crisis of capitalism today, the financial crisis and all that. And I think there is also a subjective crisis, which is not immediately the same thing. There is something like disorganization of life, disorganization of thinking, an obscure vision of the future. I think this is the most important point, because for all young women and men in the world today, the future is really obscure. Can we continue as now? It's not really exciting. Can we invent something really different? But it's not unclear. It's unclear. All the politicians, all the governments and so on has only the idea to continue, to continue if it is possible. But to continue only is to repeat, if you want, the situation is not really a good future for young men and women of today. So the philosopher had also to say, okay, there is a crisis, but if we cannot modify immediately the objective crisis, because we are not so powerful to do something like that, we can modify the subjective level of the crisis and to propose new ideas, new vision, new forms of life for humankind.
Can you tell us what sort of new forms you're thinking of?
New form of thinking?
Yeah.
Yes, I propose to say that we must define a new form of freedom. I think freedom today is largely the freedom to buy something, or the freedom to have money, or the freedom to do what we want when we have the money to do. And so the freedom of today is in fact a sort of material freedom which is on strong dependency of the situation, of the crisis and so on. And so maybe we must search and find another definition of freedom which is much more at the subjective level and on the side of creation, if you want, on the side of the possibilities of mankind as such, and in the field of new forms of political organization, new artistical creations, new inventions, new style of life, if you want. And it's a general direction. To propose a new definition of freedom, that's the formal one, a definition today, which is a mixture of materialism, to have money, and to representative vision of politics. We have some governments and so on, but all that cannot define really freedom for today.
My final question, what is your advice for young people today?
I think for young people today, my goal is first to transmit my experience. To transmit my experience of an old man, in some sense, which has known something, a really different world before. A world with political hope, with revolutionary ideas, and so on. And first to transmit that sort of experience, to understand clearly that all different subjectivities can exist today, because it was not so many years ago, it was some 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. We have different subjectivities. It's the first point, the transmission. After all, when we have an experience, we must transmit to young women and men. And after that, to reconstruct the possibility to be optimistic.